Hey guys, I finally have audio set up for my video. My mic isn't the best though, so be prepared for some scuffed audio. Now anyway, today I'm going to be starting my first Roblox badger, and if you don't know what that is, a Roblox badger is basically a game that requires you to complete a certain number of badges to obtain something. Usually a badge in the Badger or some UGC. Future Ingle here, all of the videos did get a little scuffed up on the audio, so I'm just going to record over them. Thank you. Now, the badger I'm going to be attempting today has 30 full badges from other games. Just to get a little bit of a look at what we have here, we have a lot of variation, so. Game number 1 is going to be Grappler Swing, and all I really have to do is complete the first stage in under 13 minutes. Once again, apologizing that I don't have any of the actual audio from the game. It all got corrupted somehow, my bad. So to talk a little bit more about why I decided to do Badger, I found this game called the Badger Hub by Shafe, and this is where I'm going to be attempting, hopefully, all, I think at this point, 100 Badgers, 100 plus he has saved up in that hub, so we're going to be making our way through those, but we're going to start off with this one called the Winter Badger, so. Now, for this badge, I ended up finishing just under 13 minutes, but what you're gonna see is that a lot of these badges are gonna take quite a bit more time than just 10 to 15 minutes. Now, next up is a game I'm very excited for the full release of, being Stars Align Engine. Now, this one already started to take longer. For the badge in this game, I had to beat the second hardest map fully. Now, this probably wouldn't have been as big as a problem if I, number 1, was good at obbies, and number 2, had actually done any other stages after the tutorial other than the second hardest stage of the game. Now, you guys are going to see about maybe 3 minutes of footage. But this game would end up taking me about 20 minutes in total to complete the stage in its entirety. So, and yet this game still pales in comparison to the true nightmare that was yet to come. Here's the clip of me actually beating it. Yeah. Now, the next 2 games I would end up playing would be Dusty Trip and Raise a Peter, but I didn't get footage for either of those, and they were both also very quick. I just had to get 5,000 meters and steal from the store, so don't really have any footage for those, so we're just going to move right on to the Yolktails. Now, if you don't know what Yolktails is, it's basically the original version of Find the games, other than, well, we'll get to that one later, but originally it was created for Roblox egg hunts, so that's why everything's egg. Now, for this badge, we had to get the Prez egg, which meant we had to go to the Christmas dimension, which I'm forgetting the name of, but we went there. See, now this section was oddly nerve-wracking, because the controls for the gun are actually horrendous. Depending on how high or low you look, it changes the power, which is how far the present launches, and it was hard. Now, thankfully I was able to do this first try, so we can quickly move on to the waiting room. Now, for this badge called Lurk, and I have played this game before, all you have to do is get through this like secret vent area by opening up a vent and pressing a button, and then by doing that you can just get to this little secret area and watch people, therefore lurk. Now, this next one's a bit of an odd one, Test Game 3. It would end up being a driving simulator, but our job was to find a quote-unquote hidden duck. So my first idea didn't work very well, but I continue exploring, and there were like a lot of really random things around the map. like these cars that were in the pillars on each corner. But anyway, I found the duck. Next step would be another pretty simple game. All I had to do was get 5 win streak in this game where you have to survive waves. Sort of like natural disaster survival, except it's usually always tsunami related in some way. There was this one guy who continuously had like a bat and bombs, and he kept really stressing me out, but I managed. But after that came probably the most horrifically time-wasting game I think I have ever played. The Are You Insane badge in Steal a Bank to Get Some Beans might be my new most hated badge on Roblox. I have no words to describe the amount of stress I felt trying to play this. Now, when you hear what the actual requirements are, you'll probably laugh. But I don't think you understand the pure and utter terror this game instills into every fiber of my being. Roll the clip. Yeah, maybe a little. I would end up, in total, spending 2 hours trying to get some wires from the second floor of the bank. Now, it might seem like this is some very simple, just dodge the patrolling officers thing. And you're right, it is. But the problem is that they are so good at their job. Now, I did not want to have to do this, but I would end up spending 5 Robux to revive after getting the wires. Thankfully, this was all I had to do, and I had already grabbed the Oreos, which meant that I could now get the guns from the second floor, and thankfully buy the C4, and eat it. Now, following that little taste of hell, we got into a game that was actually extremely simple. In this game, you would normally just flex how old your account is, and as you can see, mine is very, very old. 28 whole days. And all we had to do was go ahead and get the Survive the Teapots badge. This one also took more than a few tries, but eventually it ended up being pretty easy because the difficulty got lowered, and I would kind of just walk along the edge and get the badge. Now, I was already at 10 badges, which meant I was a third of the way there, because I'm definitely not getting all 30 badges in one video. But to be on the leaderboard, I needed at least 11, so I decided to get one more. This is Dingus. Now, Dingus is, in ways, like Among Us, where there's a team trying to do tasks, and the other team is trying to hunt down the other people. The only difference is that there is a ton of NPCs, so the hunters are trying to figure out who is and who isn't, while the hiders are trying to do all their tasks and deposit them before the hunters get them. Now, for this badge, all I had to do was win a round. Which sounds easy. It's not. For the first round, I ended up getting put on Hunter, which meant I had to figure out who the NPCs were and who they weren't. Problem was, I still at this point had zero idea the difference between what NPCs and players do, because I hadn't played as an NPC or hider yet, so I sort of just shot mindlessly, and well, you see how I ended it. Now, thankfully, round 2, I was put on hider, which meant I could kind of also just hope that the rest of my team helped. And help they did. We finished our tasks extremely fast, I think, for this game. So, cheers to that. And I got the badge. And there it is. My name's now on the leaderboard with 11 badges. 19 more to go, which we will hopefully get to in the next 2 to 3 videos, depending on how hard the rest of the badges are. I'm not really sure. The only 2 that I know are gonna suck are Frost Monarch in Find the Tromics, because Find the Tromics is supposedly awful and evil, and this one puzzle game called House with No Name. See ya.